LeBron James says he's the king of New York. If LeBron James wins a championship in the Big Apple, dare I say, he would then go down as the greatest of all time.
Okay, which team needs LeBron the most?
There is no one that needs LeBron James more than the New York Knicks. Nobody. And
Not even the Cavs?
Nobody. Not even the Cavs. Well, listen, he already delivered them a championship.
Yeah.
Do you realize the Cavaliers have a championship more recently than the New York Knicks?
I'm aware.
Everybody realize that? Everybody realize that?
I'm aware. The Mecca basketball.
I don't know if Max Kellerman was born the last time.
I was not.
You were not born.
Same year, but it was before I was born. 73.
So the New York Knicks have never won a championship.
I was born in August. They won in January.
The New York Knicks, they won in October.
Not January.
The New York Knicks haven't won a championship since you were like literally just born. Okay. Right. The reality is this. James Dolan and the New York Knicks, could you imagine if LeBron showed up in Gotham City? You understand? Now, don't get me wrong. You ain't going to win no damn championship. You'll need more than they've got. You'll certainly need Porzingis healthy. There's no way in hell I think LeBron will ever go to New York as long as James Dolan is there. At least that's what I've been told. But David Fizdale being there, his former assistant in Miami, if he wants a conversation, LeBron in all likelihood would grant him that respect. LeBron is fond of him, likes him, spoke up for him when he lost the job in Memphis, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the deal. The New York Knicks, Gotham City, the media capital of the world, that city, needs a LeBron James. Do you realize that the closest thing to a star the New York Knicks have had in damn near 50 years has been Patrick Ewing? Patrick Ewing. Now, don't get me wrong. Patrick Ewing, as far as I'm concerned, is a future Hall of Famer. Patrick Ewing was a great center. But in the same breath, he wasn't Russell and Chamberlain and Shaq.
He was one class below.
He was one class below.
He's with David Robinson in the class below.
Do you understand, Max? The New York Knicks have not had a superstar. Gotham City, New York, hasn't had a superstar since Walt Frazier and Earl the Pearl Monroe, Black Jesus, was playing in the New York Knicks uniform. They haven't had a star since then.
I'm going to piggyback your Knicks point. Here's what's important for people to understand about the Knicks and their need for a guy like LeBron.
Right.
Never in their history have they had an above-the-rim superstar. Ever. So
Never.
You talk about Clyde Frazier. Clyde was flash off the court. On the court, he was fundamental.
He was fundamental.
Right.
Earl the Pearl was flash, but not above the rim.
But Earl the Pearl was
alma mater, Winston-Salem State, baby.
Earl the Pearl was the flashiest great player they ever
but not
had.
Above the rim.
But he also joined a team that was already formed.
Right.
The team had already won a championship in the couple years before.
Yep.
It was not like in the beginning of his career or anything like that. It was more of a rental and okay. Bernard King was a great player, but he was a shooter. Phenomenal. He wasn't an above-the-ring superstar. Right. Gerald Wilkins was above the ring, but he wasn't a superstar.
That's right.
Same thing with John Starks. Dr. J was, but he never played for the Knicks. He played for the Long Island, really, Nets. Right, in the ABA.
That's right.
Patrick Ewing was a big. Carmelo Anthony was a guy who was also not above the rim. They have not had the superstar, high-flying scorer ever in their entire history. They have never had it.
Which augments my point. No one needs LeBron more than the New York Knicks.
I think I concede the point.
He is eligible for a $219 million five-year Supermax deal this summer. Stephen A., should Kawhi get that Supermax?
Max, I honestly don't know. Here's why I don't know. I have to be consistent with what I said yesterday. Do you really want to play? That's the issue for me. Do you really, really, really want to? You got to remember that Kawhi Leonard was paid, you know, whatever he's paid. I got the number. I'll look it up in a second, but because I don't recall for this moment. But the brother got paid, played just 9 games. I want to emphasize that in no way am I questioning the validity of his injury. I'm not doing that. I wouldn't do that to him. And I understand, and I'm going to believe that he was legitimately hurt. But when you heard all the reports emanating out of San Antonio and the relationships and what have you, something went sour. Now, obviously, the belief is that he got new representation. It was his uncle leading the way. And even though his uncle, in fairness to them and their family, says that their relationship with the San Antonio Spurs is fine, there are no issues, you still have heard too much noise. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And all our years covering the NBA, Adrian Wojnarowski knows it. Mark Stein knows it. Mark Spears knows it. Chris Haynes knows it. I know it. Will Bond, everybody that's covered the NBA. We know where there's smoke, there's fire. And all I'm saying is that let's put this stuff into perspective. The San Antonio Spurs had a problem with you when they were paying you $20 million. Yeah. Now they're going to commit to you for 200 plus. I mean, I got to know that you want to be there, which is why this conversation with Greg Popovich is so important. Now, God bless Greg Popovich and his family. We know what he's been through with the loss of his wife. And, you know, one would surmise that you're still yourself, but at the same time, there's just a gaping hole in your life. You don't know how that can alter somebody. You truly, truly don't know. And I say that with all sincerity.
As someone who's experienced family tragedy,
absolutely.
You know, and so do I.
Absolutely. And so when that happens, you just never know, you know, how it alters you to some degree. And what Greg Popovich could once deal with, we don't know. You know, San Antonio Spurs organization. Everybody, free agents ain't going to clamor to San Antonio. So the likelihood is that they're going to let Kawhi Leonard know they want to keep him. Yeah. They're going to let him know they have every intention of re-signing him. I'm just saying to you that I would be looking at him like, can you show us enough love to at least let us know that you want to be here or you don't?
In his defense, I thought things went bad because they mishandled his injury.
Well, that's what
that's what his camp.
That's what his camp was implying. Fair enough. My point is, at the end of the day, 1 minute you're hearing he wants to stay, another minute you're hearing he wants to leave. All I'm saying is, I can't just look at your talent and allow that to determine whether or not I'm going to give you in excess of 9 figures. I have to look at you, or actually 9 figures anyway, it's just 200 million, instead of 100 million. But I have to ask, seriously, can you do me the favor of making sure to let me know that you want to stay or you want to go? I got to know that. There's no way on earth those guys approach Kawhi Leonard without Greg Popovich's blessing.
You know what that tells me?
So Greg Popovich sent them. So what I'm saying to you is this. If Greg Popovich sent them and these guys felt so inclined to confront the star as to whether or not he wanted to play, that's a problem.
No, I'll tell you what that tells me.
That's a problem. I'm talking about $15, $20 million gap. What is going on? Oh, will you stop it? You know what? You know what? Excuse me. Kellerman, work with me here. Where was Molly Wood living before she got here?
L.A.
Thank you. L.A. She in Connecticut now. Connecticut, you come.
Excuse me.
In Molly, hold on, wait.
Not just money? Not just money? Really? Okay.
In Molly's defense.
I promise you.
In Molly's defense.
It was to join this team, a bigger stage.
In Molly's defense. Money. However, a team.
Not sit with proudly. Yes, it influences me.
Of course.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But Stephen, ESPN is an excellent team.
That's right.
Even if you're in Connecticut and not Los Angeles.
I'm not
same thing. I think Molly's arguing the other way.
And I appreciate that. When I say money, I don't just mean money. I mean money. I'm talking about a $20 million difference. Now, I'm sorry. You understand? I'm sorry.
$20 million in endorsements going to L.A.
Really?
Yeah.
You're sure?
Yeah, we can make it up in L.A.
Yeah.
What's the matter with y'all? I got to talk to y'all after this show. I can't believe the 9 figures more than this, brother. Are you kidding me? Even more so than Antonio Brown outside of Pittsburgh, some would say. That comes with the territory. You know why? Because you see ESPN, they cut this check. You know what I'm saying?
I heard yours is good.
And the check is pretty nice. And because that check is nice, Max, you understand what I'm saying? I understand. All of us up here are fathers. But what I'm saying to you is this. You put yourself on Front Street to position yourself to get paid.
He's got to deal with it better, yes.
But wait a minute. Come on, y'all.
Hold on. Let me ask everyone a question. Julio Jones or Antonio Brown? You can only have one. Who you taking?
I'll go Julio Jones.
Me too.
So would I?
And it's because of this stuff.
No, not because of this.
I understand he's bigger, but it's close anyway. Julio Jones just balls. Le'Veon Bell or Antonio Brown, you can only have one. This upcoming season, who are you taking?
I'd go Le'Veon.
Me too. And ultimately, why?
He does more.
And also, this
brought up his family reading about him playing football.
Your family's going to read about you if you play football.
It's what he does.
After these comments, Antonio Brown went to the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank and helped pack up 5,000 cans of soup.
There we go.
Okay, so is he affected by it? Yes, but still, this guy does good things in the community.
Does great things.
He does right things also.
No one's talking about him.
Got a charity.
If LeBron James wins a championship in the Big Apple, dare I say, he would then go down as the greatest of all time.
Stephen A., it sounds like there's a legitimate shot PG-13 stays put, even though we know how badly he wants to be in L.A. That's where he's from. I need eye contact from you, please.
Yes.
What does this mean for Magic Johnson? If Magic Johnson can't land LeBron or Paul George, is this not deemed a successful summer?
No, it's a failure. If he doesn't land either one, it's a failure. Los Angeles has enough cap space for 2 max players. You have LeBron James, who is the free agent available. You have Paul George. Plus, you have individuals like Chris Paul and Kevin Durant who can and are expected to opt out, just to opt in. Well, in Chris Paul's case, contract expires, but in Kevin Durant's case, you can opt out to ultimately re-sign and re-up with a max deal or whatever the case may be. You are the Los Angeles Lakers. You are the purple and gold. You are Irvin Magic Johnson, a 5-time champion, a basketball savant, who obviously represents the most storied franchise in basketball annals and arguably all of sports, even though I'd put the Yankees there. At the end of the day, here's what this comes down to. We come down to the reality that Magic Johnson has got to get one of these guys. He's got, because both of them are assets that could be added to the Los Angeles Lakers and would qualify as an upgrade. Obviously, LeBron far more significantly than Paul George. And Paul George works better with LeBron James and the rest of the crew than if he went to L.A. by himself with what they already have in place. But it's still an upgrade. But you have, if you're Magic Johnson, and it's the Lakers' friend. These are not the Clippers. Yeah. These are not the Clippers. You're playing with house money. Anything you get is an upgrade, okay? But with Magic Johnson and the Lakers, this is an absolute necessity. You have to get one of these players. Otherwise, this free agency, to me, is a failure. The only thing that I'd like to add as an aside, I am incredibly happy to have Adrian Wojnarowski with us. Incredible insider. Does a phenomenal job with her. But there's room for one more. I would love to see my man Mark Stein back. I like seeing him at the New York Times. He did a great, great job for us, and I wish he was still here. I just wanted to say that.